Happy Camper Radio, episode 41. Come on, let's go camping. Hello, my friends, and welcome back once again to the Happy Camper Radio Show, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you. It is our first episode of 2014, and we are so glad to have you along. We've got a great show lined up here for you today. Our phone number here is 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. Of course, you can access any one of our social media sites by going to our homepage, which is www.happycamperradio.com. And if you haven't already done it, make sure you click on our RSS feed, and this way you can subscribe to the show and never miss a single episode of our program. Talk about cold temperatures in some regions out there. It is bitterly cold, and that enlightens me to reach over here and get our campfire all fired up. It is time for everyone to grab their camping chair, grab your loved ones, your spouse, your kids, gather them around this campfire because we always have room for one more. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to put on a pot of hot coffee, maybe some hot chocolate or some hot apple cider. Just for these temperatures here, we're going to have a great discussion on camping today. I want to take a moment here to shout out to some brand new friends of ours. We want to say hello, first of all, to the fine folks over at Do It Yourself RV at Tech Time, to Thomas from Pennsylvania, and our friends at the Amsterdam Airport Hotels. Thank you all so very much for reaching out to us this week on social media. We're glad to have you along. I've got some great camping resolutions I'm going to talk to you about today as part of our show. I think it's a great topic to bring up in 2014. And for most of you out there, these are going to be very easy to go along with. You don't necessarily have to wait before the stroke of midnight at the start of the new year to have a camping resolution in place and begin running with it in 2014. You can start these up at any time. All you got to do is write down a date and saying, here is what I'm going to do this year. One of the very first things we're going to be talking about here is one you have probably tried if you are in a type of person that engages in nicotine, and that is smoking. Now, you may ask yourself, what on earth does trying to stop smoking have to do with camping? Well, my friends, it does have a lot if you put it into perspective. Now, many have tried to stop smoking. Many have tried over the years and have included a stop smoking program of some sort as part of their as part of their resolution at the beginning of a new year. They may have been trying it for 4 or 5 years and it had not worked. They may have tried it here into 2014 and started smoking again. I have talked to a number of people over the years who've told me, yes, I've set a resolution. I've got this camping resolution on my mind today so bad. But that's exactly what it is. We're talking about camping resolutions. And, you need to consider if you are the type of a person who engages in nicotine and has used cigarettes and smoked cigarettes over the years to try to stop smoking as part of a New Year's resolution. You want to do this for yourself as well as your family and your friends and especially your children. There is help available out there. If you go to the American Cancer Society website and browse around, you can find some different resources available to you. There are some online community groups that you could join. You may have some local groups in your area. You may meet somebody who has tried to stop smoking just like you and partner up with that person and be able to use them as a source that you can lean on at the last moment in the event that you feel the urge to light up. Now, why would I say this has anything to do with camping? Very simply put, we want you back here at the campsite next week. We want you back here next year. I would like to meet you at a campground somewhere down the road. But we all know that there are some serious health risks involved with smoking. And you don't want to get into a situation where you have to end up in a hospital somewhere instead of a campground. It is a place you do not want to be. You don't want to have to be fighting a medical battle somewhere instead of finding a place to park your RV or to pitch your tent. So do this for yourself. Do it for your family. And I don't want to get on my bandwagon here and talk to you and be preaching at you about something that probably your family has nagged you to death already about. But you're a fellow camper. We love you. We want to spend some time with you. We enjoy having you back here at the program each and every week. So, you don't necessarily have to do it for me. But do it for your family, your friends, your loved one, and especially yourself. Set a date. I don't care what date. You're going to stop smoking. Write it down and reach out for help. Here's one you probably heard about also, and maybe you've tried before and given up. How about losing weight? There are a lot of people who tried to lose weight as part of a resolution, and it may not have worked out. Try it again. A great way to lose weight is to do more hiking while you're out there camping. Choose a campground where there are some nearby hiking trails and use those trails, not only for the benefit of your health, but also to see some great attractions. You may see some great wildlife out there. You may run into some wonderful people on that trail, and it becomes beneficial all the way around. I'm not saying that losing weight is going to be easy. I pack about 300 pounds right now, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. You would know it to look at me because I am 6'4" in height, and I carry my weight proportionately. But yes, I do have that little spare tire here around my waist that I do need to get rid of. In the event you don't have the time or you don't have the desire to go to the gym, there are other ways you can engage in losing weight. Maybe you can walk a little bit more. Maybe if your job requires you to move around a little bit, you can lose weight that way. Maybe you want to take a mile-long hike at least a couple days a week. Put that down as a possible resolution. Myself personally, I like swimming. We have a recreational area not too far from where I live that they have an indoor Olympic-sized swimming pool. And I can go there 2 or 3 days a week and try, if I can, to swim at least 100 laps each time I go to the rec center to visit. And I much prefer doing that than I do jogging or hiking. Again, I have preached to you before that when I go camping, I like to park myself next to the campfire. I love to tend to that campfire. That's not to say that I don't enjoy going hiking. I've hiked many, many years over a long extended period of time, and will probably do it again. But it's a great exercise, and it's a great way for you to lose weight. So if you have a weight loss goal in 2014, write it down. Maybe your next camping trip that you plan, you're going to go on, say, 2 separate hikes on 2 separate trails. Consider that a resolution. Consider that a goal each and every time that you plan to go camping in 2014. Here's something else you can plan. At least 1 extra camping trip in 2014. Our friend Thomas reached out to us this week here by email, and one of his resolutions, in fact, it's number 1 on his list, it's to camp more. He says last year was hectic, and trying to fit some camp time in was a challenge. For 2014, we've allocated time for camping, and we are pushing ourselves to try campgrounds we haven't used before, going outside our comfort zone. Thomas, I can relate to that. He also says in number 2 here, we use more solar power. That's another goal he has in mind. We have a 75-watt collector and battery for lights, a PC, and a cell phone. This year, we want to upgrade our system to support higher amp devices such as a CPAP machine. Take advantage of a lot of natural resources that are out there, and you might want to invest a little bit of money like Thomas is this year and use a device that will help you pull power in from some of the elements, the natural resources that are available. And number 3 on his list, I can go along with this, and that is to camp longer. He says here in Pennsylvania, where incidentally, Thomas, that's where I'm from, so I can relate to what you're saying. Cold weather can hang around well into April. Our first trip this year will be in March, so will mine, incidentally, regardless of the cold. We want to extend the season as late as possible into 2014. Thomas, though, thank you so very much for sending that along and being a part of our show here in 2014. So, yes, by all means, like Thomas says, go someplace different. If you have a campground that you have been frequenting lately, and I have one that is close by to where I live, it takes me no more than 10 minutes to get there once I pull out of my driveway, and I can be set up at a campsite within 2 hours. It's an easy place to go. If I want to just disappear for the, just if it comes across me, and it has happened before, that I get home and I had other plans, but I just got the urge to go camping. It takes me just a few minutes to load the gear into the car or into the truck and head on over to this campground that is not very far away from home. But you may want to consider going someplace different. Try to make it a family decision. Maybe this weekend, when you sit down around the dinner table after everybody finished desserts, have a list of 4 or 5 camping destinations that you can offer to your members of your family. And everybody decide, hey, we're going to find at least one place to visit out of these 5 that Dad or Mom selected. And this is where we're going to go in 2014. Even if it's just one campground. Offer several suggestions and come to a family agreement. That's something you can do as a resolution in 2014. How about buying some new gear? I cannot stay away from a camping supply aisle. I cannot stay away from a camping supply store. Every time I go in there, I have to pinch myself. I've got the urge to buy something, and oftentimes I do walk out of the store with something. But maybe there is a new piece of gear out there that you want to buy, and you've had your mind set on it for a very long time. Pick a date in 2014 that you are going to go and buy that piece of equipment. If it means putting a couple extra bucks in the drawer every year or every week or so to save up for that item, go ahead and do that. But maybe it's something as small as a lantern or maybe a camp stove. I have these 2 butane. I mess up on this each and every time, but they are butane-powered stoves. They have these butane canisters that look like hairspray cans. You cannot buy them just anywhere. They are specialty items. Some hardware stores carry them, others do not. But once you find a place to buy them, you need to remember where you bought them from, because if you ever run out, you're going to have to be running around looking for a place to find them, and they may not be somewhere close by. As much as I enjoy using them, they provide maybe 3 or 4 good meals with each canister. It's time for me to move on and get something that's going to last me a little bit longer, and I'm not going to have to worry about buying these while I'm out on the road. So yes, a camp stove is something I am considering in 2014. Here's something else. Keep these in mind too. Tiki torches. Do you want to really accent your campground? I bring 4 tiki torches with me anytime I go camping, and I usually carry a gallon of the citronella fuel that is used to power these lanterns. They throw off some great light. I don't want to say it's blinding light, but if you strategically place these tiki torches around your campsite, it will accent it very beautifully in addition to that campfire that you have burning there right after the sun goes down. Consider buying some tiki torches as part of your 2014 camping resolution. Here's something else you can do. Be better prepared and organized. I can't say this enough. I have learned some very valuable lessons over the years. And you probably, if you are any type of a serious camper, can think back of some times where you had to run out while you were out on the road, while you were at a public campground, and you had to go out and buy something because you ran out or because you never brought that item that you needed in the first place. Be better prepared and organized. Consider that as a resolution for 2014. Plan each menu carefully. If you are going to make things from scratch while you are there at the campsite, make sure that you have all of your ingredients included with you before you pull out of the driveway. You shouldn't have to be going out and buying some ground pepper or some spices or any other item that you may need to prepare that meal. Make sure you have it long before you go. I don't like to prepare items at home and have them ready to heat up. I like making things from scratch. If you're anybody like me, yes, that's what you're going to want to do, but you're going to want to make sure that you have all the items with you when you show up there at the campground and have them in front of you when you are ready to prepare that meal. Here's something else you can do in 2014. Prepare a list of daily activities and events for the kids. Oftentimes, on a weekend getaway, we just get there, we set up camp, we sit around, we look at each other, and your kids can get bored very quickly. Have some activities, have some games, have some things for them to do during the day. Have them written down and agree to participate in your kids' activities and events. Maybe some badminton. Maybe you want to play some croquet. Maybe you want to throw some horseshoes or do something like that. Maybe play some volleyball. But keep your kids occupied. Be better prepared with a list of daily activities and events for yourself, your family, your kids, and you can always get some folks next door who are camping near you to participate as well, because, like I say, you're always going to meet new friends while you're out there at the campground. Does anybody in your family play a guitar? Bring that guitar with you to camp. Not very often do I run into folks who invite me over to their campsite and somebody there is sitting with a guitar and singing campfire songs. But I love it. I love the opportunity to do that anytime I'm camping. If I can, even if I'm just sitting maybe one campsite away, I can sit there very quietly and just listen off into the distance. And it is just so touching. It's so warming to me when somebody has the ability, when somebody has the talent to bring a guitar to the campsite and be able to sing some of these great campfire songs. Also bring some stories along. Now, if you're going to tell ghost stories, folks, make sure that you are not going to scare the daylights out of your children to the point where they're not going to want to go camping again. But there are some great stories available online. Print them off, get to memorize some of them, and tell some of these stories as you're sitting around the campfire. Consider that in 2014. Here's something else you may want to do, and I'm a real stickler about this, folks, is build up your camping supply inventory. I have 2 plastic totes that I carry with me. One contains pots and pans, and the other contains all the necessary items that I am going to need, and they are in one convenient location. I know where they're at, and I'm able to find them anytime that I am looking for them. These are going to be mostly your camp kitchen supplies, and they're going to be used for camp purposes only. Wherever you store your camping supplies at home, whether it be in a closet, whether it be in the basement of your home, in your garage, or your outdoor shed, do not borrow any items from them anytime that you are not camping. Case in point, if you have some baked potatoes that you're going to be cooking in the oven tonight, and you go over to the closet and you look for some aluminum foil and you come to find out you are completely out. Do not run out to your camping supply box and borrow that box of aluminum foil, because what's going to happen is you're going to forget to replace it somewhere down the road. I have been down this road before, and I have thought about going out and borrowing that item that I needed, and I did not do that. I got in my vehicle and I drove about 2 miles away to the grocery store, and I bought what I needed there and brought it home, and knew I would have it available to me in my closet in the event, say, if I wanted to cook baked potatoes again. So don't borrow anything that you may need for household purposes and borrow it from your camping supply box. Because what'll happen is you'll get to your campground and you'll say, I know I bought a box of it last year. Where did it go? Well, I'll tell you where it went. You borrowed from it and forgot to replace it. Some of the things that you can include in there would be dish soap, some scrubbing brushes. You know that when you start cooking at your campsite, you're going to be making a mess. There are going to be pots that are going to need to be scrubbed. So, stock up on all the supplies that you need. Some dish soap, some towels, some hand towels. You're going to need these items, some plastic forks, knives, and spoons, some paper towels, napkins, Ziploc storage bags for storing items, as well as some plastic wrap. Include all these items. Build up your camping supply inventory for 2014 if you haven't already done that. Also, strengthen ties with family and friends. Invite a friend along to a weekend outing. Have him bring his kids along. I always encourage families to bring their children when they go camping. It will make them a much better person in life. Again, choose some games and activities for all of the kids to play, not just yours, but some of the other kids who may be joining your party. Start a scrapbook. This is important too. If many of you, like me, carry a cell phone, you most likely have a camera on that phone. Don't hesitate to use that camera to take photographs while you are away. I also have a very expensive digital camera, and I make sure that battery is charged, and I have a way of charging it while I'm away, because I will take lots and lots of photographs. Build up a digital scrapbook and maybe print some of these pictures off. You might want to put them into a book. Start a scrapbook in 2014. Consider doing that. Also, document the names of the people and the families you met while you were camping. I always believed in making good friends when I go out. I don't care if I am camping locally. I don't care if I'm camping 100 miles away. I will always meet someone new, and I may never see them again. But if I can leave a lasting impression on their lives for just that short period of time, I know that somewhere out there I have made a friend for life. So try to make new friends and be a part of the camping community in 2014. Here's something else you can do. Find a spur-of-the-moment site, just like Thomas mentioned in. Get out of your comfort zone. Find a place other than that one or two favorite sites that are close to home that you normally go to. If it means traveling an additional 5 or 10 miles, try something different. Use them for quick weekend getaways on camping trips that take little or no planning. And also in 2014, try to introduce camping to at least one person. Talk to a friend about going camping, even if that person says no. Even if it's a simple weekend overnight trip, see if they want to come along. If you're someone like myself who is at the age right now where your kids are older and moved out of the house, you may be camping by yourself. Sometimes I will speak to folks about camping, and if I'm very comfortable with asking them to come along, I may even buy them a sleeping bag if they just try it for one night. But at least introduce camping to one person as part of your camping resolution in 2014. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. You know, each and every week, we try to locate someplace different on the map where we can take our family and loved ones camping for a weekend getaway or maybe a week-long trip. And this week, we found a place out in New Mexico that is open year-round all the way through December 31st of 2014. And it is called the Cochiti Area Campground. I love these campgrounds that have the tricky names, but I do eventually get them out and get them right. The Cochiti Recreation Area is located in Sandoval County, New Mexico. I had an opportunity to go to their website this week. They have 4 loops inside that campground. The Juniper Loop campsite has electrical hookups, and some of those sites also have water. The Elk Run and Ringtail loops are non-electric and have community water spigots. All sites in the Buffalo Grove Loop have water and electrical hookups. So I don't care if you're bringing your tent, your RV, your pop-up camper. If you go to this particular campsite, known as the Cochiti Area Campground in New Mexico, you are certain to find a location in that campground that is going to suit your personal needs. It's a great place to go fishing also. Check out some of the pictures that they have on their website as well. They also have a boat ramp that's open year-round and is accessible by a paved road. The ramp has 4 concrete lanes for loading and unloading your boat. They have some great windsurfing this time of the year, too. It's a very big lake. It's a very great place to check out, to take your family when you go camping. Hiking trails, interpretive trails, a playground, showers, a visitor center, and there is a campground host on duty. Some of the things you need to know before you go: that the guests must bring a 100-foot hose. Spigots are shared between the sites. Check-in time is from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. All camping units or vehicles must be registered, and we've talked about this on a number of different occasions. There is no cutting of trees, dead or alive, in that area. Purchase your firewood someplace locally and purchase as much as you need to get you through the number of days that you are going to be there. No off-road vehicles are permitted there also. It's just some of the things you need to know. If you want to check out the National Weather Service map, there's a link for that also, so you can get an idea what the temperatures are going to be like. You'll find them on just about every one of the recreation.gov websites that we feature here as part of Happy Camper Radio's featured campground of the week. But check it out. It's a great place to go if you happen to be in New Mexico this weekend or plan on visiting there sometime this year. Keep the Cochiti Area Campground in mind. Located in New Mexico, it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, my friends, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, please reach out to us. You can email me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. You can talk to us on Facebook, too, as well as on Google+. And also, if you're going to be sending us some information about a campground that you've been to that none of us have any knowledge of, we're always looking for some great getaway destinations somewhere out there in America or anywhere out there in the world. So make sure if you have a link to the website, you send that to us also. Folks, that's about going to wrap things up for me for our first show of the 2014 camping year. It's been a great run so far. I've enjoyed hearing from you. Please stay in touch with us each and every opportunity you can, and let us know what's going on in your life as well as in your camping life. Don't forget, you can catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no question about it, my friends, you and your loved ones can be happy campers too. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next weekend. You're listening to Happy Camper Radio.